People ask me all the time what it's like being a teacher in Africa. Well, here's my story. I met this couple who owned a school in Zimbabwe. Things were not good with me or for me when I first went to Zimbabwe. It just wasn't. These particular individuals told me like, hey, look, we know that you're going to leave to go to Malawi. But whenever you come back, there'll be a job waiting for you. People knew what I was doing, media wise and with my TV shows and everything. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, whatever. Next thing you know, word gets out that I'm actually going back to America because I'm not feeling like things are working out for me in Africa. So before I left to go to America, I get a phone call from a lady called Mrs. Mupanga. And she was one of the two individuals who owned the school that I mentioned. And she was like, Reggie, what would it take for you to come over to our school and do media and teach our students, the different things that you know. And, we discussed, negotiations and everything. And before you know it, she sent me out there. When I first got there, I was nervous because I've been in schools before. I've taught, I've dealt with, students, teenagers, etc., but never in Africa for this long period of time that I was going to be working. And, I was there. Some people knew who I was. Some students knew who I was, and some parents knew who I was. And I don't know if anyone noticed how nervous I was, but I was asked to speak and introduce myself. And I did. And a lot of people started coming up to me, asking me questions about my work and my TV show and all of that. And it started to relieve the pressure more because these students and this atmosphere that I was so frightened of, because I didn't know what to expect, they made me feel comfortable just like that. And it was a phenomenal experience. We had a staff meeting. And during the staff meeting, I'm the cameraman the whole day. And Mr. Mupanga, one of the CEOs, a nice man, he's reading out a letter. And at the end of the letter, it's dedicated to me, telling me how much they appreciated me being there and coming all the way from the US and, doing what I'm doing in Africa, and that they would love to learn from me. And of course, I'll be learning from them. And it was a tremendous honor to have received that letter from, the staff. Time went on, people started realizing, my sports background and everything. And I started helping out with, a basketball league. There was a phenomenal coach there. And we started, teaming up and doing different things with the local schools, and that went well. We got the media team together. We were just doing so many things that wasn't expected to happen so fast. And I remember there was a few days I would walk into Mrs. Mupanga's office politely and respectfully when she was free. And then I would be like, can you believe that everything that we set out to do for a whole school year, we actually done it in less than 2 months? And we just would laugh. She was just a great person to work with. And then, those students, man, they just helped better me every single day. I remember I got calls from my family, my mom, who was back home in America. And they were like, Reggie, I haven't seen you this happy in a long time. Those children have really changed your life. And then I even said, Mom, you know what? They gave me life. They gave me the opportunity to have a better life. And I'm always grateful for them. Time went on and I got opportunities to pursue my career elsewhere because I knew that being at this school, it wasn't going to be permanent. It was going to be temporary. And I ended up, letting everybody know that I was going to be leaving. And it was a gut punch for many people because there were certain people who pulled me to the side and said, I know you're not coming back. People like you, who are going off to pursue their career, you're not going to come back here. And I don't know if that's true. If the opportunity ever comes about, I would always love to visit my students. I get phone calls from them and messages from them every other day. And there's a few students, they'll call me and they'll be like, I didn't even think you were going to answer, seeing how busy you are. but I always make time for the things I care about, and I definitely care for those students. I have, where I'm working at now, I have partnered with different people who are creating leagues and creating job opportunities. So when these students who I taught doing the debate team, doing the public speaking, doing the media, doing the sports, when they graduate, they would have a guaranteed job. And I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that they not only obtain that job, but they hold on to it as long as they would like to. But they have to put in that work. I'm just so grateful for that school, Mrs. Mupanga, Mr. Mupanga, and also the parents for raising some phenomenal children. Don't get me wrong, all children aren't good, you know, but I'm glad that, you know, the ones that are, I'm hitting the mic, the ones that are here in my heart, they are the most phenomenal youths I've ever met. And I'm glad to know that we still have that bond to where I'm just a phone call away if they ever need me. And being a teacher in Africa started off scary. I was full of fear, but then it ended up being something that gave me, you know, life, gave me an opportunity to be a part of a platform like this, because without me going to that school, there would not be more content for Reggie Haynes in Africa. There wouldn't be a Mike, Kudzi, Charles, you know, there wouldn't be a Lay Show, there wouldn't be a Jaden, there wouldn't be a Kian, there wouldn't be many of these other students who I've embraced in that short period of time while I was there at that school. And I'm just honored and grateful for the opportunity, and for all of those people who, you know, you're starting a new career dealing with youths and you're fearful. Just realize that, hey, look, everything's gonna be fine, because there's a lot of great youths out there. Just like there's a lot of great people in this world. You just have to recognize them and involve them in your life, and not give any attention to those who are not for you. And that's what I learned, and that's what I appreciate the most. And that led me to, you know, be a part of a life where these youths have made me happier than I've ever been.